Hi everybody, allow me please to share with you a short message for Hanukkah. There's an interesting passage of Gemara in Masechet Shabbos which talks about the laws of Hanukkah. And it states that on Hanukkah, when you have the opportunity to place the menorah in your doorway, which was the original tradition, the Gemara raises a question: where in the doorway should you position the menorah? On the one hand, there's an advantage to placing it on the right side of the door, the same place where the mezuzah is positioned in the door frame, because normally we put things on the right side. But the Gemara says no. The correct halachic practice is to put the menorah on the left side. And in this way, when you walk through the doorway, you're surrounded on both sides with mitzvahs. You have a mezuzah on the right side, and you have a menorah on the left side. There's a deeper insight to this halacha, however, that the Shem Mishmul observes is going on. In reality, both mitzvahs, the mitzvah of mezuzah and the mitzvah of menorah, are taking place on the right side of the door. How's that? Because there are really two right sides of any doorway. It all depends on the orientation of the person. When you're standing outside the house and looking at the doorway from outside in, then the right side of the door is where your mezuzah is. When you're standing inside the house and looking inside out, then the right side of the door is the side of the doorpost where the mezuzah is not affixed. And that's where your menorah goes. And it points to a fundamental difference between the mitzvah of mezuzah and the mitzvah of lighting the menorah for Hanukkah. The mitzvah of mezuzah is to remind a person when he comes into his home that my home represents something holy, something divine. The message that is contained within this mezuzah parchment is what I'm supposed to be remembering every time I walk into my house, so that when I come into my home, I carry that message of holiness to my family and to everything that I do inside the privacy of my home. The purpose of the menorah is just the opposite. I'm not lighting the menorah for myself. I'm lighting the menorah in order to share the light of Judaism and Torah with the rest of the world. And so instead of my mezuzah being an outside-in instrument of holiness, my menorah is an inside-out instrument of holiness, so that when I light it, I'm lighting it on the inside, projecting the light to the darkness that exists outside my home. That's really what Hanukkah is all about, reminding ourselves that our defeat over the enemies of the Jewish people is more of a spiritual capability within the Jewish people, that no matter what kinds of cultures we may be faced with, we are not going to allow ourselves to be affected by the culture, but to the contrary, we will affect the culture that surrounds us. There may be darkness out there, but we're not going to shun it. We're going to try and illuminate it. We're going to light a menorah of holiness, of true Torah values, that we're going to try and emanate and illuminate the outside world with. That's something that we should try to remember this Hanukkah. Let's get out there and spread the light of Torah and Judaism to the rest of the world. I wish you and your entire family a very joyous and freilichen Hanukkah.